Hey, and welcome to the Jessica Paul podcast. I'm your host, Jess Paul, actress, manifestation expert, and mindset coach. And I'm here to share with you all of my secrets on confidence, success, and the magic of manifestation. If you're ready to dive in deep and see more success in your career, more money in your bank account, and more love in your life with a whole new level of freedom, then you're in the right place. I'm letting loose on everything you need to take back control of your life, up-level your mindset, and tap into your manifestation powers. I'm so excited that you're here. Hey you guys, and welcome back to the JP podcast. It's me, it's your host, your manifestation mentor, your spiritual bestie, and all the great things to help you manifest the life of your freaking dreams. Welcome back, guys. So I'm feeling great today because I actually had quite a relaxed weekend, but I had a great conversation with a good friend of mine, and she's also a practitioner herself. She's appearing on the podcast, not this week, but very, very soon. I've got some exceptional guests on the podcast coming up. I feel like I'm really up leveling in every single way, and this is really high level convo. I'm very excited to bring it to you. Anyways, this week we're diving in on a Q&A. Personal Q&A episode. It's a very different episode. Over on Instagram, I was telling you guys to get your anonymous questions in so that I can answer them for you on everything mindset, manifestation, spirituality, success secrets, how to build on that confidence, how to step into that character, just all the things really. All things mindset, miracles, manifestation for you guys. And I love episodes like this because I'm a generator in human design and I love bouncing off people. It's one of my favorite things to do, get asked a question and be able to bounce off it. And so I know this is going to be a great episode, and you guys asked some really great questions. I don't know whether this is going to be a two-parter or we're going to get through them today, but we will just see. We'll see how much I rumble on. But first, we have our sponsor for this week, which is my new masterclass, Entering the Villain Era. I'm obsessed with this masterclass already, guys, because I've been through so much growth in 2022 in terms of my character and and my identity and the person that I am now. And I'm going to be sharing it all inside this masterclass with you guys. So this is my masterclass on how to upgrade your character and career for 2023. So we're going to be getting rid of all of that self-doubt and really unlocking your beliefs around what you're capable of and what you are able to achieve in this life. And we're going to be doing it in a very different energy and a very different way than normal because, as I say, I've really shifted in my energy over the years. I have gone through multiple awakenings, and I feel like I could do a whole podcast episode on that. But I've shifted again into this new energy. It's way more of this dark feminine energy, and I just can't wait to bring it into this masterclass for you guys because this is what has been seeing me so many results in my career, in my success, and in my relationships. So we're going to be going through unlocking all of those beliefs for you. We're going to be helping you step into the most confident version of you. We're going to be helping you lean in a classy, feminine way. And we're going to be helping you manifest in your career and in your business and in your relationships and in your life. So if you're ready to step into this brand new character moving into 2023 and you need this boost and you're ready to go and you're ready to clean out those beliefs and that energy, then get yourselves inside. The link is in my show notes. It's £44 on the pre-sale and that will be going up. So get in there now. Even if you can't make it live, make sure you purchase it now and I'll see you guys there. This is on the 23rd of this month, so a few weeks away. And it's going to be such a great night. I'm so excited. See you there. So life updates for this week, guys. I've been manifesting like crazy. I feel like, again, it's really stepping into this villain character that's been helping me. But I've been receiving these miracles. Only just this week, I received a paycheck for over $3,000 in my bank account from a commercial buyout that I'd forgotten I'd even done, and these are things that can come in for you when you're really in this energy. So manifesting money, and also she's finally booked the flights for LA, guys. I'm off at the start of March. I cannot wait. I was holding off on booking these flights for a number of reasons, even though it was a done deal in my mind that I was going and I've moved out of my flat and everything like that. But obviously another money manifestation. When I got there to book the flights, there was a sale on. So I literally got these flights for half price, guys. I you've got to be in this knowingness and this energy and this belief that you're always manifesting the money and that you're always manifesting these deals and these offers, because this is how it happens for you. So it's been such a smooth, easy process. All of the money manifestation this week. Now let's get into your episode in this personal Q&A for you guys. So I had loads of you guys dropping your questions in, and we've got a mix of questions here, all centered around mindset, miracles, manifestation. There's quite a few of you that are asking, okay, where do I even begin with this work? And so I'm hoping that this episode as well can be a great reminder of going back to the basics, and a reminder for anybody at whatever stage you're in this journey, because all of these things are the foundation to your success. And so I've got those questions to answer. Then I've got some other different ones to answer on relationships, friendships, things like that. So thank you guys for popping in your questions and being so open and vulnerable. And, I know that I can't see who has sent them, but I am sending you that love back. And I think that I'm going to probably make this more of a regular thing, because it's nice to get the personal input on what you guys want to hear about. And know that my solo episodes, I love my solo episodes, but it's so funny how many of you message in after a solo episode and you're like, I really needed to hear that. Like, you just said exactly what I needed to hear at the right time. And that's the universe's way of sorting that out. But it's nice to get these questions in, and like I said at the beginning, to bounce off them for you guys, because it's honestly what I do best. So we're just going to go straight in. We're going to see how many I get through, and if we need a part 2, then we will do that. So the first question I got asked was, where do I even start with manifestation and spirituality in general? Because there is so much out there, and sometimes it can get overwhelming. Now, this is something that I have to remind myself of too, because this journey, guys, it never stops. Like, we never stop learning, growing, expanding, diving into our mindsets. Like, it is just a natural progression when you get inside this space. But one of the things that I will say first of all is that when you really have to understand what manifestation actually is and what this journey even is for you. Because a lot of the times people think manifestation is just simply about calling in success, and that's, the first thing that you've got to focus on. Manifestation is about you. It's always about you. It's about who you are being as a person. It's about what you're embodying as a person. And so really, the first place that you want to start with manifesting anything in your life is with you. It's with what is going on in your own inner world and what your beliefs are, what you feel about yourself. Like, it starts genuinely with feeling. When I first started my manifestation journey, it wasn't a conscious thing, guys. It wasn't like I'm consciously going to manifest. It kind of happened naturally because I needed to heal my soul. And I needed to work on myself, because there were so many years in my life where I had awful anxiety, high functioning anxiety. I didn't know who I was. I had very little self-worth. I didn't know where I was going in life. And there was so much in there that was unhealed parts of myself and unhealed parts of my soul, that the very first and the foundational work is on your self-love and, what you're believing about yourself and the world around you. And from there, it's from that place of healing that things start happening for you. So because I always say, manifestation is basically just a set of beliefs. It's what you're believing about yourself. Then that's the first place that you have to work on if you want to see any results in your life. We can't focus on the result first, because it all starts with where you're vibrating. And so really, when it comes to this, you've got to just think, what do I want to work on? Like, what do I desire to work on in myself? What is my soul pulling me towards? Because your intuition is always speaking to you. So you've got to ask, what am I being pulled to work on in myself? I knew, and it was after my ex broke up with me 3 years ago, that I went into this this pit of healing, because I had 2 paths that I could go down. I could either carry on down this path of self-loathing and not feeling happy in myself, or I could make a change and make a shift and work on those parts of me. And it was in that moment that I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this healing work. This is where I desire to be. I desire to work on my self-love. I desire to work on what I, am capable of and the power within myself, and that was where I first started on this journey. I didn't get into money manifestation and things like that until after I'd done that work for myself. So I'd say really that's the first place you need to start. Look inside yourself for the answers. Ask yourself, what do I need to work on for me? How do I need to transform inwardly to then see a transformation in my outer world? Because that is always the way around it is. And the next thing I'll say about this when it comes to feeling overwhelmed by it is when you're online, because a lot of the time we start this journey off by looking online and looking at other people that are manifesting things or other manifestation mentors and things like this, pick 1 to 3 people, 1 to 3, that's all, that inspire you online and mute the rest. Now, I know that might sound dramatic, but there honestly is so much information out there that it sends our nervous system into overdrive. This is why scrolling on TikTok can be incredibly harmful for you because, you're taking in so much information, and not just information, guys, energy. You're taking in so much energy, and what that does is it muddies up your own energy. Like, you forget what your own intuition is telling you. And this is what I kind of said earlier on, is that you got to look inside yourself for the answers. And if you're absorbing too much information and too much energy from all of these people online, you're not finding that clarity in yourself. So I would definitely say pick 1 to 3 people who inspire you the most, the people that resonate with you. And one of the things that I always find so interesting about the clients that come to work with me is that they always say the same thing. And that's, oh my God, you just came in at the right time for me. I just came across your profile at exactly the right time. And that's the thing. The universe is always conspiring to help you in this way, to help you on your journey. If you've signaled that you want to work on yourself and that you want to start off this journey for yourself, the universe is going to conspire to make that happen for you. And it's going to attract you to the people that are vibrating at similar frequencies to you, at similar places that where you want to be. When I first found my first mentor, it came across on a Facebook ad, and it was just like divine timing. I was going through in my mind, I want to make this change on myself. I want to do this work for myself. And then this ad came up, and it was like, boom, there's the mentor for me. I did a bit of research. I, entered into some free challenges, and then I was like, this is the person I need to work with. And this will always happen for you, but not if you're being muddied with too much information and too much energy, because then you don't know what your soul is asking for. So that, it might sound quite dramatic, but genuinely mute everybody else. And you'll also know when it's time to move on to the next people. Because for me personally, like I said, with this work, it's a constant journey. So I'm going on it myself. I've had to mute accounts. I've had to move on with different people that inspire me because I've moved on as a person. And that's perfectly okay. That's growth, okay? But if you, let's say, for example, are being inspired by my podcast right now, stick to my podcast and a couple of others, that are actually resonating with you, because that's when you're going to learn the most, because you're actually going to take in the right information for you at the right time. So I hope that helped in answering that question. Really, the main message with where you start with manifestation and spirituality is looking inside yourself. You hold all the answers. You don't need anybody to tell you where to start. Your body is already telling you where to start, with what you're being drawn to, what you're being pulled to, what your soul is asking you for. And remember that this is a journey. It's not just something that you do once and then you're like, okay, I know how to manifest now. It's it's a constant journey, especially with your spiritual growth. And actually, I'll just say one more quick thing here. You can't work at being more spiritual, guys. You are just spiritual beings. You are spiritual beings having this human experience. There's nobody out there that's more spiritual than you. I hate this whole notion that there's people that are more spiritual. You can't be that. You are a spiritual being. So looking inside yourself and actually just understanding that you hold that power. And that was one of the first things that was ever said to me when I got into this. It made me get into this journey completely, was you hold all the power, And then, yes, of course, you hire the mentors and you work with the people that inspire you and you grow and you expand. But it all starts with you, because you're a powerful fucking being. You all are. So I hope that clears that first question up. Thank you for dropping your question in and, being a part of this and being a part of this community and listening to this podcast. I really appreciate you. I love you. And I hope that that's helped. The second question that I got asked was a different one, and this was on friendships. So the question was, how do I stop comparing myself to my friends? Now, again, thank you to whoever asked this question for being so vulnerable about this, because I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, or whenever it was, about some of my own friendship wounds and how, you've got to dive deep into the relationship with yourself to understand the relationship with others, because we're all mirrors, okay? Whatever you're feeling, or whatever you're seeing, in somebody else, it's really what's going on in your own inner world, right? And again, kind of what I was saying before, it all starts with you. So if you're comparing yourself to your friends, the first thing I want to say here is everybody is in their own world, okay? Nobody actually cares what is going on in your world as much as what is going on in their world. If you think about how obsessed you are in your world, which you should be obsessed with your world, okay? We should feel great about our world. But you are thinking about yourself. You're the person that wakes up with yourself every morning, goes to bed with yourself every night. You're in your world and you're focused on you, where you should be, right? But equally, every single one of your friends is doing the same thing. They're all focused in on their own world. And what's really interesting is when you feel like you're comparing yourself to your friends, as a mirror, it's most likely that your friends are comparing themselves to you too. Okay? So remember, as a mirror, everything that you're feeling about somebody else is probably that they're feeling it about you too. Or everything you're seeing in somebody else is probably what's going on inside you too. And this is where we can get really deep in on our shadow work, because, if you're seeing qualities in people that you don't like, for example, then it's I've got to look in myself and see where I'm having that quality. I used to see so many people getting stressed out. I always used to notice that my dad would get so stressed out and I'd be like, why is he so stressy? And actually, when I looked inside myself and I did some shadow work, I was like, oh God, I am stressy too. I can be that. I have that quality in me. And it's about being that mirror. So when it comes to comparison, if you're looking at someone and you're thinking, oh, I wish I could be like that. I wish I had her hair, or I wish I had her body, or I wish I could pull off those clothes that she's wearing. If you're comparing yourself in that way, it's most likely that everything that you're looking up to in that person, you hold in yourself anyway, because everything you see, you hold in yourself. So these people that you're comparing yourself to, they're probably comparing themselves to you too, which is first of all just really important to understand, because then it reminds you that you're all on the same playing field here. You are all, as I said before, spiritual beings having a human experience, and there's nothing that actually makes anybody better than you in that sense. So how to stop comparing yourself? The first thing that I'd say is I'd ask yourself, how do you want your friends to make you feel? Because right now, when you're comparing yourself, it's making you feel bad, okay? You got to ask yourself, how are you actually feeling, And if the comparison is making you feel down, it's making you feel not good enough, it's making you feel not worthy, then you got to ask yourself, what do you desire for your friends to make you feel? How do you want to feel around your friends? Okay. And if you want to feel accepted and warm and comforted and fun and all of these things, then you've got to ask yourself, how can you start giving that to your friends now? How can you start offering that to your friends? One of the things about comparison is that people tend to put up walls, right? And I've been here before, guys. When I've compared myself to other people, I put up a wall and I'm not vulnerable, because I'm like, no, I can't be vulnerable around these people who I think are so much better than me. But when you put up a wall, you're not allowing these people in. So really, if you want to bridge that gap and create that vibration of fun and lightness and warmth and all these things with your friends, rather than comparison and not being good enough, you've got to do that yourself. You hold that power to do that yourself. So how can you be making your friends feel welcomed? How can you be making your friends feel warm, feel included, feel great about themselves? And if you're offering that out to your friends and you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable in that way and you're offering that, your friends are going to feel that and they're going to bring it back to you. So, like I said before, you're always a mirror. If you're comparing yourself, they're most likely comparing themselves to you too, which basically means that you're both feeling a little bit insecure. If you allowed yourself to let down your barriers and open up and be vulnerable and offer them warmth and comfort and friendship, they're going to want to do that for you as well. And then this comparison goes out the window because you both agree and understand that you're both beautiful, amazing souls and that there's nothing to really compare because you've both got it all. So really, the main crux of this question is understanding that we're all mirrors and also understanding that you hold the power to change the dynamic in any relationship that you have. If you offer up the vibration that you want to feel, you will feel it because the people you're around will always feel that from you. And they're either going to be really welcoming to it or they're going to feel intimidated by it and they're going to run away. And this is the other thing about friendships, which, you know, I've mentioned before. Sometimes friendships break down because you're vibrating at such a high, amazing frequency that they can't handle yet. Like they're not there yet on their journey, and that's okay. But as long as you're true to yourself and you're always offering out the vibration that you want to call back in, you will have the right people around you. And this as well, guys, doesn't just go for friendships, it goes for any relationship in your life. So that's relationships in romantic sense, that's relationships in career and business and all of these things. Because again, if you're offering out that vibration, they feel it and you will receive that back from anybody, from the people you're working with, from the people that you're hanging out with, from the people that you're dating. So just remembering that when it comes to any relationship, offer out the vibe that you want to attract back all the time. And know that whenever you're feeling triggered, you're a mirror to that situation and you can always figure out your shadows and you can always work through your shadows. And if you want to work through your shadows, that's where you can come and get in touch with me, because it's one of the biggest things we do, especially in the MMN Academy. But also, I have some ideas. I might be bringing out a little cheeky shadow work course very soon. So just knowing that, the main crux of this question, you're a mirror, and when you offer out the vibration that you want to call in, the people around you will always feel that. So you're in control. So I hope this helped. Thank you so much for asking this question. I love you lots, and I hope that it's helped. So the next question, and I think this is probably going to be the final question for this episode, because as I already predicted, I've rambled on a lot with these questions. I've given you so much inside these. I've really channeled during this episode, guys. Like, a lot of the stuff that has been coming through has been from a really channeled place, which is why sometimes when I answer the questions, I can go off on tangents, but it's really just Source speaking to me and telling me what I think you all want to hear at this time. So like, that's why sometimes these can go off on little tangents. So we've only got through a few questions this episode because of that, but I'm going to be doing a part 2 on this as well. But let's get into the final question. So one of you guys asked, how do I work on my mindset? Like, I am being in the present, I'm thinking in the present, and I know that that's something that we've got to do. But is it just practice and being consistent? So, okay, how do you work on your mindset? First of all, you've got to ask yourself, how committed are you willing to be to yourself and your mindset? Because there's lots of different levels that you can be working on your mindset. There's a very surface level, which is just kind of scrolling online and picking up a few tips and tricks, which, you know, I post about all the time online. Or going to some free events, you know, not actually spending any money, but just going in on some free challenges and things like that. Or there's the actual investing in a mentor and actually putting down that energy, that money energy, which is scary to do, and going all in. So it's asking yourself, first of all, how much are you willing to commit? For me personally, like, that was the only way I was able to commit. And again, this is a personal thing. It's not everybody has to be in this do it this way. But for me, the only way I was going to commit to my mindset was if I actually let go of some of my money to do that, because money was the biggest thing for me. That it was like, if I've let go of that, if I've given my money to someone, to a mentor, I'm going to do the damn thing, because that cost me. Right? That cost me money energy. So I'm going to put the work in to transform my mindset. And that's exactly what happened for me. I put the money down on a mentor and I went all in with it. And when I say going all in with it, like I said, there's these different levels with your mindset. You can either look very surface level and say the affirmations and, do a few of these challenges, these manifesting challenges. But as we've already said, there's so much information out there. Some of them are complete bullshit, like, let's be honest. Or you can get to the root of what is going on in your subconscious mind. And this is so much of this manifestation work in itself. It's getting to the root of your subconscious. It's actually transforming from such a deep-rooted place that when you get there and when you understand how the cogs are working in your mind and you are aware of that and can transform that, you change your whole reality, and you can change your whole reality so damn quickly. I always say in my own story, like when I first decided to commit and I put my money down, within 8 months, I'd completely transformed my reality, my self-worth, my community, like my money, my career. I transformed everything, but that was because I got to the root of what was going on in my subconscious mind. So you've got your conscious thoughts and you've got your subconscious thoughts, and the subconscious is basically what's going on without you realizing it. It's like when you learn how to ride a bike when you're younger, and then now you just know how to ride a bike. Like, you don't have to think about riding it, you just get on it and you ride it. Or if you've learned how to drive a car, like, you don't get into the car and consciously think, okay, how do I drive this car right now? You just drive the car. And that's because you have trained something so innately into your subconscious that you just do it. It's just a standard practice. And what happens is with most people is that we've been negatively conditioned in our childhood to have a standard practice, standard habits that aren't very good for us, right? That aren't actually seeing us any results, that are actually very negative, that are actually very harmful. But it's like we're just getting in a car and we're not even aware that we're thinking and believing these things. So really, in order to shift things for yourself and your mindset, you have to go deeper and you have to understand what those subconscious beliefs are, and you have to shift them. For me personally now, it is such a standard practice to show up, believe in myself, do the damn thing, create, call in the money. That's standard for me now. Like, I don't have to think about doing those things. I just do them. Whereas before, I had completely different subconscious beliefs that were holding me back, that were blocking me all the time. And that was the main crux of this mindset work, was actually going deeper, finally deciding to. So that's the main thing that I want to ask you, to whoever's asked this question in. How much are you willing to commit? And then, yes, to add on to the end of that question, practice and consistency is key. Like, it is the main thing, right? After taking responsibility and actually going for it, consistency. And actually, funnily enough, one of the other questions that was asked in was about consistency. And so in part 2 of this episode, I'm gonna go in on consistency and how you guys can be consistent with your practice, with your rituals, with everything within this process, because it's so important. And it's one thing that I see so many people, like so many of my clients, that ask me, like, how do I be consistent? And then only after like working together for however many months, they're like, okay, damn, now I get it, right? So I'm going to go into that with you guys in part 2. But thank you again to those of you guys that have asked in these questions. If you want me to make this like more of a regular thing where we're doing these Q&A episodes, then let me know. Drop me a DM over on Instagram at I am Jessica Paul, and just drop into my DMs and, give me feedback on what you're loving on this podcast, because I want to make it again in 2023 the best podcast ever for you guys. And you're getting so much value from it. So I hope that these rambles, these very like channeled from source rambles have come in useful in this podcast episode for you guys, I'm going to do a part 2 with the other questions that were asked. And remember that if you guys are wanting to go deeper and actually commit with this, then I've got my masterclass coming up, which you can go ahead to the show notes and go and get your ticket there, because we go in deep together and it's going to be a great evening. My masterclasses are always on fire. So if you've been thinking about working with me for a while and you're not quite ready yet to go all in with like the bigger stuff, but you're like, I just want to try it out, then this is only £44. So definitely get in there. And I'm just sending you all lots of love. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Share it on your socials if you have, share it with a friend, and I will chat to you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who you think would love it too. And if you want to let me know how you found it, just screenshot this episode, add it to your Instagram story, and tag me at I am Jessica Paul so that I can throw all the love right back at you. And of course, subscribe, hit those 5 stars, and leave a review to show your support and to keep the good stuff coming. Sending you so much love and gratitude from your girl Jess.